Welcome to B2B. This is Baseline to Baseline with Stopsky and G. This is a little pre-show. Wanted to throw this together. It's our final show of the new year. Can you believe it? It's crazy. This year has gone by so freaking quickly, and it's so much fun, and we're having a good time with it. Talking about the NBA. We also do another one with college football as well. T to T, tailgate the trenches with Stopsky and G on the FanRag Podcasting Network. So you can check that out on FanRag Sports as well. And if you couldn't tell, we're doing an NBA one. I pulled out my Linsanity t-shirt, although he can't stay healthy this year for the Brooklyn Nets. But the Knicks Pelicans got a big Friday night Knicks game, and I wanted to kind of bring you inside of what we do here on B2B and what it takes to kind of get things going here in terms of what do we do before and after the show, because it's really pretty simple with what we do. There's not much craziness that goes on. It's more of, hey, we're just gonna go. We are going to jump in. We've got a Google Doc set up, and between me and Matt Stopsky, unfortunately he couldn't be here this week. He's got some husbandly duties, things like that going on in his life, so he won't be able to jump in here with us, unfortunately. And we are just trying to figure out how we can share this, because I want you guys to get an inside look here on what we're doing on B2B. And I'm actually going to throw this link up right now on our Facebook page, Stopsky and G Podcasting. You can always find everything that we're doing with FanRag Sports up there on our Facebook page. And I don't know. Okay, that's Matt Stopsky. I was going to say, I went to the wrong one because he's got a picture of him and his wife up there. And I said, what? Wait, that's our header picture? No, there's no way. So here we go. Here's the Stopsky and G podcasting page. And like I said, we do all this, our recording right from our room, and it's not live, so we record it, different segments, and usually sometimes there's some outtakes, or as Matt Stopsky and I say, you have to emit, which means you just push a marker and you get some things going, so you can go back and edit it correctly, because sometimes we're not perfect. We don't always get things right the first time around, contrary to popular belief, if you will. So we're just about to get the live stream going up here. Let's just get this going. And we're doing this all right now. So I'm kind of setting up the show, and I'm just wanted to get this out to people on Facebook. It's our last show of 2016. And it's already on episode 11. And we're going to be talking about the good and bad from around the NBA. We'll do a little read and react with Phil Jackson and his split from Jeannie Buss. Yeah, that's right. Reading react. And our meaty matchup segment, of course. Can't forget the meaty matchup segment. So we throw that up there, and now it's up on our Facebook page. Again, that's Stopsky and G Podcasting. And unfortunately, we're without Matt Stopsky today. So it's just me, but I thought this is something cool I wanted to give you while I have the time. I'm currently unemployed, so if you're looking for to employ somebody who's handsomely good looking, who has a obsession for Jeremy Lin, or used to when he was on the Knicks. Linsanity was all the rage back in the day, and I was fully on board. I remember one time that we had a party at our house in college. It was my senior year, and I was living in the baseball house. We had a party there going on, and it was the same night that Jeremy Lin and the Knicks were facing off at the Garden against Kobe Bryant and the Lakers, and Linsanity was in full effect, and he had himself a heck of a game against the Lakers in that game, and the Knicks got a win. Just sending it out on my Facebook page right now. Greg Larnerd, of course, if you don't know. unfortunately, no Stopsky today. Unfortunately, he's like I said, he's off doing whatever he's doing right now. He did conduct an interview for us yesterday, which was cool. So we'll have to get that to you in the coming weeks, I'm sure, in the new year. So you've got me here, Greg Larnerd here on B2B, Baseline to Baseline, doing a little YouTube live, if you will, getting things going. Just before, I'm just starting to set up the show and set up the podcast. And usually what we do is, like I said, we create a Google Doc. That way both of us can kind of look at it, talk about different things that we want to talk about. Usually for the basketball one, I'll put together the Google Doc. For the football, the college football, Stopsky will put together the Google Doc. And before the show, we'll kind of just go over it. We'll talk about what exactly we want to talk about and how we want to go about it on the show. How do we want to set each other up? How are we? It's all part of working with a partner on a show, because when you work with somebody, first of all, when you do your own show, you don't have to talk to anybody about it. You're doing it yourself. So if I want to do a show a certain way, I don't have to converse with anybody. I just go and do it. But when you're working with somebody else, you got to make sure you're on the same page and that there's good flow to the show. And Stopsky and I have been working together since college. We met up at SUNY Plattsburgh. You can see over my left shoulder. Yes, this is my left shoulder. My which way are we going? There we go. The Plattsburgh Cardinal hat, the baseball hat. My diploma's up there. And to my right, we got the Aaron Rodgers picture up this way, and then the relax. I can't see the whole thing, but it says relax. And my parents got that for me for Christmas a couple years ago. Speaking of Christmas, Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy New Year. That's coming up soon as well. Got me this cool picture of five letters in picture frames in relax. That one year where Aaron Rodgers, the Packers, started at 1-2, and he said, "Hey, Packer Nation, we just need to relax. Just relax." And my parents saw that and they thought it was pretty cool. And then they got the different letters, the pictures of the letters from around different places in North Carolina. So that was pretty cool that they were able to do that for me. And of course, this way, we've got it's Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, and Bart Starr picture up there. You can't really see it too well because obviously we're on a little bit of a tilt, and I'm not going to pick my computer up and drag it out of there because all the stuff around my computer here, there's a lot of stuff that you're not seeing, fortunately for me. So like I said, B2B, and when you do it with a partner, a show, like I said, you have to make sure there's a good flow. You have to talk a little bit. You have to have a good chemistry on the air and off the air. I think that's really important to have a good dynamic going on and off the air. And if you're working with somebody, a partner for the first time, and I think it's really important that you go and spend some time off the air together. Do things where you while you're doing the show, you can kind of have that good flow, like you're just sitting at a bar, you're having a conversation, or you're in somebody's basement or man cave or whatever, at somebody's bar in their house, or just hanging out at their apartment watching a game. You have to have that good back and forth, that good conversation, and that good flow to a conversation, because that's what makes good sports talk radio. And I think that's what we do here. We try to do that with putting together a Google Doc where we, like I said, I'll use the example of the basketball one, the NBA one that we do on FanRag, where it's we go down the list. I created these, and Matt signed off on them as well, and he likes the ideas of different segments that we're doing. And we have 3 segments to the show. If you've never listened to the show before, and I'm sure most of you haven't, but this is another way of me trying to kind of promote it and get it out there, because we do some good things. We have some good conversation. We have some good guests on. I was supposed to be doing this, co-hosting this show with Allison Gappa. She's got some good Thunder stories that I was hoping she would tell. Hopefully we'll be able to get her on and talk a little NBA with her at some point in the new year. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get her on. And then, Sam Dusenberry's come on before. He's had some great stuff. He has great insight on the NBA. So we try to get some different people in here, give us some different looks, if you will, some different point of views on the NBA and the specific topics that are going on around the league. And so that we, like I said, we break it down into 3 segments, and the show usually runs 40 minutes to an hour. We try to keep it around an hour or a little less, because I don't even want to sit here listening to myself talk for an hour. And I'm a sports talk radio host, so I like to listen to myself every once in a while. But what we do is we break it down into 3 segments. First segment is the shocker segment, where we go and we take the power rankings from around the NBA on CBSSports.com, and we go through them. We give you 3 teams that have performed well. They're on our good shock list, or as around the holidays we're calling the nice and naughty list. But the bad shock, the good shock, we do 3 teams that have kind of stood out to us in a good way around the NBA. They've been playing a good brand of basketball, and just kind of highlight them, talk to them, talk about maybe the winning streak that they're on, the upcoming schedule, some of the players that have been playing well for them, some players that maybe you're not so familiar with stepping up for them as well. And then we go into the bad shock, 3 teams that just haven't been playing up to snub, and they haven't been good around the NBA. They've been playing a bad brand of basketball, if you will. And the Nets and Jeremy Lin, who can't get on the court, have been playing a bad brand of basketball as well. And then we usually take a break, and then we get into the read and react segment. That's where we kind of like to dive into a storyline that's going on around the NBA, either one or two. And for instance, last week we did the new CBA agreement and Craig Sager. Remembering Craig Sager, the guy who epitomized what he made sideline broadcasting, sideline reporting cool. He brought that swag, the Sager style, the different colored suits, and just the bravado and the flashiness that he brought, and the good preparation and the good-natured fun that he would have with coaches and players alike. It was really sad to see him go 3 years dealing with leukemia. But in today's show, like I said, with the Read and React, we're going to kind of get into Phil Jackson and Jeanie Buss, the split. So if there was any doubt about Phil Jackson staying with the Knicks and him possibly going back with the Lakers to work with Jeanie Buss, that's not going to happen. He's sticking with the Knicks. And one thing I'm going to get into today is, does this show you some dedication, if you're a Knicks fan, to Phil Jackson and the New York Knicks? So, Phil Jackson's dedication to the Knicks, that, hey, this job is more important to me than my engagement. It's putting a strain on my engagement and my relationship being in Montana or being in the city and traveling around with the Knicks. I can't do this anymore. I need to focus on the Knicks. So to me, this might be a situation where, wow, look at Phil Jackson. He actually showing that he wants to be here. So we'll get into that. We'll dive into that. And also a little bit on George Karl and his new book, Furious George, that came out, and how he was blasting some of his former players, even players he's never even met before, just kind of taking shots at them, talking about Damian Lillard and whatnot. We'll get into that. And then, of course, the NBA's 2-minute report. Not good, where the referees seem to screw up the end of the Cavs Golden State game, with Kevin Durant and LeBron James coming out talking about that. We'll kind of get into that and seeing if players do intimidate officials or not. And then our third segment that we do is our meaty matchup segment. Yeah, I know it sounds kind of corny, but we look ahead to the week ahead, and we each highlight 3 games. I'll highlight 3 games that I'm looking forward to this week. There's some good ones in there, and sometimes I like to do the high profile game, and also I like to kind of do the not so high profile game, but maybe there's a couple good players that'll go against each other. In baseball, pitchers, yeah, they're for the other team, but they're not actually going head to head, or different this is even better. 2 quarterbacks going head to head in a matchup. Peyton Manning, Tom Brady. They never face each other one-on-one. It's just, hey, my team, I'm quarterbacking my team, you're quarterbacking your team, and it's largely whose defense is a little bit better, who can make it tougher on the opposing quarterback. For the NBA, we see these guys play offense and defense. So these guys go head to head, and there's going to be one matchup that I'm looking at that's going to pit 2 young big men against each other, and I'm really looking forward to that. And we also do the moment with the American hero. I'll be recording that. I still haven't decided exactly what my moment's going to be on. It might be on George Karl, maybe on Phil Jackson as well. And then we've got Stopsky's Stop, Drop, and Roll On Fire Player of the Week. Just having Stopsky just highlight one player that's kind of gone off and had a really, really strong week around the NBA. So there you have it. There is what we do here on B2B. We do it from our own apartments. And now you get the inside look into what mine looks like, at least. And Stopsky, he does his from his, and he usually, sometimes he'll throw a screenshot or take a picture while we're on the air, throw it up on his Instagram. And if you want to find me on Instagram, it's at GLarn34. On Twitter, same exact thing, at GLarn34. Stopsky and G Podcasting on Facebook. And there's your little pregame show to B2B, the new year, the final edition of 2016. I hope you enjoy it. I'm about to record it right now, so I'll try to get that puppy up tonight, or maybe it'll go up tomorrow. We'll see how fast they work over there at FanRag. But once it goes up, I'll share it on our Facebook, our Twitter, all that. It's at Stopsky and G on Twitter as well. So for me, Greg Larnerd, I'm about to jump on and start doing B2B. So I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoyed this little live look-in as to what exactly we do here on B2B. So without further ado, have a great rest of the day. Enjoy the new year. Hope you had a great holiday with all your family and friends. And we'll catch you on B2B Baseline to Baseline with Stopsky and G on the FanRag Podcasting Network.